We get started tonight in Atlantic City with 3 5-minute rounds in light heavyweight action. Win or go home for both of these guys. Sigi Pesaleli and Jordan Johnson. Coming off his first loss in a very young mixed martial arts career, Eve, is Sigi Pesaleli. What do we expect from him tonight?
Well, he said he put that loss behind him. He took a week off from training to clear his head, and then he put his trust in his coaches, found himself some new coaches, and stopped being his own coach. And he wants to press the wrestling in this one. That's his background, and he wants to put Sigi on his back.
I think you're talking about Jordan Johnson, who reset after a week and found
made careers. There's our tail of the tape. Jordan Johnson, a fairly significant reach advantage, but doesn't play into a fight where he is likely to be shooting for takedowns early and often. We find out as we get started in light heavyweight action with Lillian Garcia.
We are live from Atlantic City, New Jersey on ESPN2. We're going to kick off all the action with the light heavyweight division, and this is presented to you by Presidente. So, fight fans, get fired up, because it's about to get real! Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, he is a kickboxer and a jiu-jitsu practitioner. He stands at 6 feet even, weighing in at 205 pounds. At just 25 years old, he has a professional record of 3 wins and only 1 loss. Fighting out of Auckland, New Zealand, here is Sigi Showtime Pesaleli. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, he is a wrestler, standing at 6'1", weighing in at 206 pounds. He has an impressive record of 10 wins and only 1 loss. Fighting out of Gilbert, Arizona, here is Jordan Big Swingin' Johnson. Your referee in charge, Bill Bookwater.
Bill Walter, our third man inside of the cage. As we get started here with light heavyweight action, as I mentioned, potentially a winner-go-home scenario for both of these guys. Jordan Johnson with 0 points in our PFL scoring system. Sigi has 3 from a walkover victory he got after Hani Marks did not make weight in their first matchup. And he comes in with a double jab and a right hand to start things off.
I like how Sigi's lowered his level. He's not going to shoot that jab standing tall and make it easy for Johnson to get under him.
Jordan Johnson, the former collegiate wrestler at the University of Iowa, as we have mentioned previously, undefeated, switches stances and fires a right hand.
And he used that right hand to get to the inside. Sigi was a little concerned with the striking, and Jordan gets to the takedown.
Lands in half guard here for Sigi Pesaleli, and this is where we start to find out if he's made the necessary improvements. He got himself caught on the ground in his first fight, and now Jordan Johnson on top of him. This is where Johnson has been successful for 10 of his 11 career fights. Eve, looks like Pesaleli maybe been listening to you analyzing fights. He immediately reached for that underhook. He's hanging on to it.
You know, that's the best way to get up. That far side underhook, that's going to help you get out of these bad positions, especially from side control and half guard.
And almost on cue, Sigi Pesaleli uses the underhook to work his back up to the cage and get himself some elevation. Now Jordan Johnson isolating the right arm of Sigi Pesaleli. Now he's got the overhook, does Sigi Pesaleli.
This is a notoriously good position for an All-American wrestler like Johnson. Ability to float over guys, to stay on top of them, keep that pressure on.
Jordan
arm triangle attempt.
Steps off to that arm triangle attempt. Sigi scrambles back to his feet and immediately steps in to engage before thinking the better of it. Pesaleli happy to be back on his feet now, goading Johnson on a little bit verbally. Sigi Pesaleli in the silver trunks, Jordan Johnson in the yellow if you're just tuning in.
Now escaping that half guard of Jordan Johnson, escaping the bottom position of that half guard, Sigi's he's got to have some more confidence in himself now. Wrestlers are very hard to escape from the game.
Both fighters test the jab. Sigi once again steps in. Leg kick there from Sigi Pesaleli. Long kickboxing background for him, but he's only 4 fights into his mixed martial arts career. Right hand and then a left.
A single leg.
Great timing. Good defense.
Pesaleli with nice balance. Stays out of that high single.
And Randy, it feels like against the wrestler, every time you can either get back up or avoid that takedown, it is a confidence builder.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can stuff a takedown or you scramble out of a position that most people don't get out from underneath the wrestler like that. That definitely gives you confidence.
Jordan Johnson lands a stiff jab there. He's talked about the fact that he's not just a wrestler anymore. He's developing his striking game. After his first career loss against Maxime Christian in his first PFL outing, he went and got himself some new striking coaches.
Nice jab by Johnson.
Stiff jab.
See the wear on that leg kick there. It was naked, but it landed.
And that leg's a little red already.
Yep.
Johnson explores a body kick. As we close in on 1 minute remaining here in the opening round. Big miss there and a takedown from Jordan Johnson. Sigi Pesaleli again on his back, crammed up against the cage right in front of our broadcast position. Johnson to 3/4 mount. Yeah, sorry.
No.
Move your hips out. Move your hips out. Move your hips out. Go under him. Go under him. Go under him.
Pesaleli with just under 1 minute remaining here, trying to isolate and limit the posturing of Jordan Johnson with those clenched hands. Nice posture here on top, Randy.
Very nice from this half guard position. This is the common wrestling position. We call it a bottom leg Turk in wrestling, in collegiate wrestling. So very comfortable place for Johnson.
But Sigi Pesaleli there, able to recover guard and tie up the arms of Jordan Johnson. This is progress for him on the ground.
This is progress, and it looks like he wants to wrap him up so he doesn't get hurt. I don't know if he knows where the time's at, but he's conceding this round, and that's okay. You're in a bad spot.
The 10-second clapper. Jordan Johnson will finish this round on top. This was an interesting exchange here in round number 1. The overhand right to takedown attempt, and Jordan Johnson was able to complete this one, Randy.
Nice job. Level change, penetration, using the fence as his friend. Pulls that leg out and puts Pesaleli on his back.
A big moment for Jordan Johnson in round number 1 as we open round number 2 with a Pesaleli leg kick, both outside and inside.
Cup check a little bit there. Referee didn't see it.
Once again, Pesaleli going to the leg, the lead leg of Jordan Johnson, who switches stances. Shovel uppercut there from Sigi Pesaleli, just misses.
Pesaleli comes into this fight with 3 points in the PFL. He got a walkover in his first outing when Hani Marks didn't make weight, but he didn't want the walkover. He chose to fight anyway. That's the kind of fighter that he is.
Johnson catches a kick there, absorbs a kick, and lands all the way down in full mount after the takedown. Bad situation for Sigi Pesaleli, but he immediately scrambles and gets the hips out, recovers at least a half guard. That's a big moment.
That's a big moment. That's it shows a lot of improvement. He had a hard time getting out of this position with Hani Marks, but getting to half guard, that's a little bit of success. He's a much better spot now.
He grabs the underhook and will try and work from the bottom. Smothering pressure here from Jordan Johnson in the yellow trunks on top. Randy, you mentioned that Sigi Pesaleli has 3 points from that walkover. The way the tiebreakers end up in this light heavyweight division, it might not be enough, just that walkover 3 points. So he's feeling the same kind of urgency as Jordan Johnson is, who needs a win here if he wants to find himself in the PFL playoffs after entering, of course, this season as a completely undefeated mixed martial artist. Nice up kick there from Sigi Pesaleli.
Both guys will have 3 points, but the criteria is head-up competition, and Johnson will win that if he wins this decision.
Nice entry there, and a left hand snuck through for Jordan Johnson.
Stack him, Jordan. He's on the cage. Hip in and high ground. Hip in, high ground, and stand.
Pesaleli's shoulders both on the ground. Eve, what does he have to do to start working his way back to his feet?
He definitely needs to open that, keep that guard open, but he has to put his feet on the ground so that he can stand.
Take a listen inside Jordan Johnson's red corner.
230, 230. Left and underhook, left and underhook. Post on the shoulders if you want.
Inside control, arch your back and throw.
Post on the shoulders, get that back guard, Jordan. Control the bottom leg. Pull him off the cage.
Shoulder on the cage, shoulder on the cage. High ground, yes. Yep. High ground, yep. Put your shoulder on, yep. There you go.
Johnson continuing to smother Pesaleli, who tries to sneak out the back door and does scramble back to his feet.
Whoa, big right hook. Swing and a miss there, but big right hook by Pesaleli.
Sigi Pesaleli, the youngest fighter in years and in fight experience on our PFL roster, showing some serious improvements and strides from his first fight.
That bodes well for his future. He's shown that he can grow after a loss. It's great for a young fighter.
Jordan Johnson landing the jabs and then an entry to another successful takedown. The Iowa Wrestling showing through here in his second performance on the PFL roster.
Now, conversely to what we were talking about earlier, defending the takedowns of a good wrestler kind of builds the confidence, but consistently getting taken down.
Looks like a timeout here.
Fixing some tape.
Fixing
on Jordan
tape.
Johnson's thumb wrap. Loose tape can whip a guy in the eye or cause problems, so they've got to eliminate that potential.
Now, it's always interesting when we see these resets. The referee, when they stop, likes to put fighters back in. He says 50-50, half guard, and right back to it they go. Sigi once again with double underhooks here. 1 minute left here in round number 2. Still potentially 5 points on the line for both of these individuals in our PFL light heavyweight standings. You can hear the voice of Misha Sirkunov in the corner of Sigi Pesaleli, formidable light heavyweight himself, currently on the UFC roster. He's calling for underhooks and butterflies, wanting Sigi Pesaleli to work his way up from the bottom. Sigi doing a good job of isolating the arms right here, but he's not getting back to his feet right now, Randy.
That double overhook or double underhook kind of locks him into that bottom position rather than picking a hip, going towards that single underhook. Now he's attempting submission attempts to create the scramble, but he's still got to be careful about locking himself in that bottom position.
10 seconds left here in round number 2. We'll be back with the third stanza in just a moment. Eve, we saw it in round number 1 and again here in round number 2. Right hand to a takedown.
Yeah, he just caught the kick, threw the right hand, and just followed it into the double leg.
Sean O'Connell, Randy Couture, Eve Edwards beside our PFL Smart Cage. Third round action at light heavyweight. Jordan Johnson in the gold trunks. Sigi Pesaleli out of New Zealand in the silver. Another takedown attempt from Jordan Johnson, and down goes Sigi one more time to open the third round.
Nice level change, drives through in that double leg, keeps his feet moving, doesn't stop at the barrier, just keeps going. Tough to defend that.
And Randy, this is the strategy we expected from Jordan Johnson. Coming off his first career loss, maybe go back to the well a little bit, rely on the wrestling here.
Absolutely, that's his background. That's what brought him to this dance in the first place. So sometimes you got to dance with the one that brought you.
The way our scoring works, Jordan Johnson clinches a spot in the playoffs with a win of any kind. You can get a finish here good for 4 points, or a decision will be good for 3. Sigi Pesaleli, he also has 3 points from the walkover victory in his first PFL bout when Hani Marks did not make weight. They still fought, and Hani Marks came away with the victory but did not get points for that. Sigi got the points in the walkover, so he's not necessarily eliminated if this fight doesn't go his way, but the way tiebreakers work out, he definitely wants to get back to his feet and work for a win here. tries to snatch the arm there, the left arm of Jordan Johnson.
Guard here and throw.
Looking for that Kimura. Johnson recognized it, got his elbow out of there. And I like what Johnson's doing with his head work. I mean, he's keeping that head position and not allowing Sigi to build up and get his hips off of the mat. By putting his head where he has it, it affects Sigi's movement with his hips.
Step your right leg up. Step your right leg up, Jordan. Shout
Coming
right
up
leg
still on ESPN2, Bozagit Atayev, currently atop the light heavyweight standings, but he's got a formidable opponent tonight in the Argentine striker Emiliano Sordi. As Sigi continues to try and elevate, Jordan Johnson stepping over those legs.
Grab the wrist.
The way Johnson keeps climbing up on Sigi, it's like Sigi's like a wet tree. He keeps sliding down and he just climbs right back up to position. Makes it real hard for Pesaleli to get back up.
You can sure tell Sigi Pesaleli has spent the last 6 weeks working in this ground position. He is remarkably better than he was in the Hani Marks fight.
I mean, it's really nice actually with the quick turnarounds. You can see how the strides work in the span of a single camp. You know, it's been about 6 weeks since we saw him. That's typical time for a fight camp, and already he's made some drastic improvements. Right now, it doesn't look like it's maybe going to be enough against Jordan Johnson, but a bright future for both of these individuals.
Yeah, it seems as if Sigi has used a lot of the techniques that he's worked on, and now that Jordan has seen them, he knows where he needs to go to block, because Sigi's having a harder time getting off of the bottom.
Johnson throwing some left hands down from the top.
Jordan, slide into mount.
He's got that instep in, Randy, to try and pass all the way, does Jordan Johnson, but it's also...
He's using it as a trap, I think. He's not even trying to pass. He's using that shin to pin down Pesaleli's bottom leg there. It's actually a really cool technique.
It's a little lockdown effect there, and he's used it effectively in portions of this fight. As Sigi Pesaleli closes in on 1 minute left to try and make something happen and pull out the win.
Sigi's doing everything right, but it's just that so is Jordan. And Sigi needs Jordan to make one mistake and to continue doing everything right to get out, but Jordan just won't do it.
Jordan Johnson tries to grab that shoulder choke.
I tell you what, I bet Jordan Johnson wishes he'd taken this tack when he fought Maxime Grishin a few weeks back. If he'd have taken him down and dominated him on the ground like this, it might have been a different outcome.
Well, easier said than done, as we've seen from Maxime Grishin, who's a big-bodied light heavyweight. We'll see him later tonight on ESPN+. Inside of 30 seconds now in round number 3 at light heavyweight action. Clinical performance, smothering pressure from Jordan Johnson on top of Sigi Pesaleli. 10 seconds left, and the former Iowa wrestler looks like he's ready to bounce back from his first career loss. Well, it might not have been Jordan Johnson's prettiest fight, but Randy, I think he needed to make it ugly.
It was an effective fight. It may not have been beautiful or flashy, but he went out there, grinded it, and just did exactly what it needed to do to deal with a very formidable athletic opponent.
We'll have the official decision when we return on ESPN2. Here are our final Cageonomics numbers from Jordan Johnson versus Sigi Pesaleli. You see the ground strikes there, Randy, and those 5 takedowns.
Absolutely. Well, the 5 takedowns tell the tale pretty clearly. Pesaleli showed great improvement from the bottom, but this was a lot different Jordan Johnson than we saw 6 weeks ago.
And Eve, Jordan Johnson didn't just shoot from distance. He set these up with strikes.
He set up these takedowns with his shots. He was able to avoid Sigi Pesaleli's big punches and get inside to get to those legs and take those legs out. I mean, he's a tough guy, and he did exactly what he needed to do to get on top. It's just beautiful technique. I mean, he's a great light heavyweight. Sean, I'm just jealous about that commercial, man. Why was it so much Sean O'Connell and no Randy Couture?
After watching that Geico commercial, I'm not sure why we're even in these seats.
Lillian Garcia has the official decision inside the PFL Smart Cage.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges scored the bout 27. For your winner by unanimous decision, earning 3 points in the light heavyweight division and clinching a spot in the playoffs, Jordan Johnson!
Jordan Johnson, your winner by unanimous decision, secures a spot in the Professional Fighters League playoffs and keeps his $1 million dream alive. There's how it stands so far at light heavyweight. Bozogita Tayev and Emiliano Sordi will be squaring off later on ESPN2. They're currently 1-2, and Jordan Johnson, for now at least, slides into the 3 spot.
Yeah. Get ready. Listen. What you wanna do? If you don't strike first, that's when they gon' come at you. Yeah. And you know it's true. Don't let your life get worse. Being timid, that ain't cool. Nah.